Hello and welcome back to Bipolar Talks, your mindful space where we explore the truth behind mental health with heart, empathy, and clarity. If you're new here, thank you for joining us. And if you've been part of this growing community, you already know this is a place where judgment stops and deep understanding begins. Today's topic is one that's often misunderstood. It's been oversimplified, joked about, dismissed, even by those who mean well. But for those who live with it, the experience is anything but simple. We're talking about ADHD, or Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder, sometimes still called ADD, especially when people want to focus on the attention part rather than the hyperactivity. Whether you've been diagnosed, think you might have it, or love someone who struggles with it, this episode is here to gently guide you through what ADHD really is, and what it definitely isn't. And before we dive in fully, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this episode. It helps more people find our mindful community here on Bipolar Talks, and every click really does make a difference. So get comfortable, breathe in, breathe out, and let's go deeper together. ADHD is not just about behavior. If you were told that ADHD is just about fidgety kids who can't stop talking or sit still, you're not alone. That was the narrative for most of the 20th century. Back in the early 1900s, doctors mostly noticed boys who were hyperactive, impulsive, or difficult. But things started shifting around 1980 when medical professionals began to realize ADHD is much more than just external behaviors. It's not just about what we see, it's about what's happening inside the brain. ADHD is now recognized as a neurological condition that affects how the brain manages tasks like planning, focus, memory, emotional regulation, and motivation. These brain-based processes are known as executive functions. And perhaps most importantly, not everyone with ADHD is loud or disruptive. Some are quiet daydreamers. Some appear deeply focused on the outside, while inside, they're overwhelmed with racing thoughts. Smart people get ADHD too. Let's tackle a myth head-on. ADHD does not mean you're not smart. Not even close. People with ADHD span the full range of intelligence, from average to exceptionally gifted. Some are professors, scientists, CEOs, doctors, musicians, engineers, creatives, you name it. What ADHD affects isn't intelligence. It affects how the brain manages tasks. You can be brilliant and still forget appointments, lose your keys daily, struggle to write an email, or feel emotionally overwhelmed by small things. A moment of reflection. Have you or someone you know ever been described as so smart, but not living up to their potential? That's often ADHD in disguise. The on-off signal. Attention isn't constant. Here's where it gets tricky, because people with ADHD often hear things like, "You can focus just fine when it's something you like. So why can't you focus on this meeting or this class?" That's a reasonable question, until you understand the ADHD brain. It's not that people with ADHD can't pay attention. It's that their attention system doesn't work on command. It's like a light switch that turns on only when there's strong excitement or strong fear. ADHD brains don't filter distractions well. While most people can push background noise aside, someone with ADHD might notice the sound of a ticking clock, the hum of a fridge, a bird outside, a passing thought, a memory, or a worry, all at once. It's like trying to focus while multiple TV channels are playing on the same screen. Hyperfocus. When ADHD locks in. Now here's the twist. ADHD can also mean intense hyperfocus. You'll see it in kids playing video games for hours without blinking, or in adults diving deeply into an art project or a hobby. Why? Because when something sparks genuine interest or urgency, dopamine floods the ADHD brain. And suddenly, focus is laser sharp. But when the task feels boring, repetitive, or lacks emotional pull, that same brain just won't engage, no matter how hard the person tries. This isn't a choice. It's a neurological reality. What if someone's inconsistency wasn't laziness, but an invisible tug-of-war inside their brain? Getting started is often the hardest part. One of the most painful parts of ADHD? Task initiation. People with ADHD often know what needs to be done. They may even care deeply about doing it well. But getting started can feel like trying to move a mountain with a teaspoon. Whether it's writing an essay, replying to an email, cleaning the kitchen, or starting a project, it's not a matter of willpower. The brain struggles to initiate action when there's no strong external push. Have you ever stared at a task, knowing exactly what to do, but just couldn't make yourself begin? Time feels different with ADHD. ADHD distorts the sense of time. For many, everything is either now or not now. Deadlines, ignored until they become emergencies. Long-term planning, overwhelming. Estimating how long something will take, nearly impossible. Some people call this time blindness. And it makes life feel like a constant series of surprises, panic, or rushed recoveries. People with ADHD often describe their sleep as chaotic. They stay up late, not because they want to, but because their mind just won't shut off. Thoughts race. Worries repeat. Creativity sparks. It's exhausting. Then comes morning, where waking up is a daily battle. Without help, like alarms, routines, or accountability, mornings can turn into missed classes, late arrivals, or full-blown shutdowns. What would change if the world saw chronic lateness not as carelessness, but as a sign of mental overload? Writing can be a nightmare. Not because people with ADHD have poor grammar or don't understand the topic, but because translating thoughts into words is a challenge. The ideas are there, big, beautiful, insightful ideas. But organizing them into paragraphs, holding them in working memory, and expressing them clearly, that's hard. And because ADHD minds are fast, the slower pace of writing can feel frustrating and discouraging. Emotions burn hotter and faster. Another overlooked part of ADHD? Emotional sensitivity. People with ADHD often feel things more intensely. A minor irritation can feel like rage. A passing comment can trigger deep shame or sadness. A delay in plans can spark panic. It's not about being overdramatic. It's about having less emotional filter, less time between feeling and reacting. Sometimes it's frustration. Sometimes it's anxiety. Sometimes it's joy so intense it becomes overwhelming. Have your feelings ever hijacked your whole day, even when you knew it wasn't logical? Is ADHD hereditary? Yes, very often. ADHD tends to run in families. Parents and children often mirror each other's challenges, even if the parent was never officially diagnosed. Sometimes ADHD isn't obvious until middle school, high school, or even adulthood, when the support structures fall away and life becomes harder to manage. This is why so many adults are just now recognizing their symptoms, after years of blaming themselves for being lazy, flaky, or unmotivated. Could someone in your family have gone undiagnosed, silently struggling all along? Medication helps, but it's not a magic cure. Many people with ADHD benefit from medications that help improve focus, attention, and emotional regulation. But these medications aren't cures. They don't fix the brain, they support it. Think of ADHD meds like glasses. You still have vision issues, but with the right lens, you can function better. But meds alone aren't enough. What helps most is a whole life support system. Routines, therapy, coaching, understanding, patience, and self-compassion. And there we are, friends. A deep, compassionate look at attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, from the inside out. Here on Bipolar Talks, we believe in more than labels. We believe in listening to stories, in holding space for the messy, beautiful, frustrating, and inspiring reality of being human. Especially when your brain works a little differently. If this episode touched you, opened your heart, or helped you understand someone better, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. You never know who might be quietly struggling and need to hear this message. And finally, just a kind reminder. This episode is for education and empathy. It's not medical advice. If you believe ADHD might be part of your story, please reach out to a qualified mental health professional. You deserve support that's as unique as your mind. You're not broken. You're not lazy. You're not too much or not enough. You're a whole person with a different kind of brain. And that brain deserves to be understood, respected, and supported. Until next time, stay gentle, stay curious, and as always, keep talking.